Hello, welcome back to Vogue Style Fashion. Today, we will analyze the runway looks of Prada's Spring, Summer 2026. If Prada's Spring, Summer 2026 women's collection were to be condensed into one sentence, in 2025, it would be a year of information overload, identity disintegration, gender mobility, and ambiguous occasions. Can and should clothing still provide the right answer? The answer given by Miuccia Prada and Raf Simons is no. They turned this show into a large-scale rebellious experiment, deliberately making mistakes in everything that was once regarded as right, and making all the wrong things seem justified. The result was the sharpest, most uncompromising, and most disturbing Prada women's fashion show in recent years. It doesn't please the market, doesn't cater to algorithms, and doesn't intend to make you understand it immediately. It's not even afraid of being called ugly, but precisely because of this, it might be the only truly big show at Milan Fashion Week in 2025. Over the past decade, the biggest anxiety in the luxury goods industry has been how to make consumers understand and want to buy immediately. So we have witnessed countless old money styles, new minimalism, and quiet luxury. Prada's SS26 goes against the trend. It refuses recognizability, refuses a single highlight, and refuses to focus on XX this season. You can't find a definite silhouette. No single color dominates absolutely, and no single item can stand out alone to become a bestseller. It's like a postmodern paper, cramming in all possible citations, contradictions, and conflicts at once, and then telling you, try it yourself. This attitude of refusing to define is itself the most thorough satire on current consumerism. When all brands are teaching you, this is the right way to dress, Prada says, there is no right, only trial and error. This show pushed ugliness to the extreme, yet it was so beautiful that it made one's heart race. It inherits Miuccia's consistent ugly-chic style, but is more systematic and cruel than the ugly in 2018 and 2019. It is no longer about embellishing ugly elements on the basis of beauty, but rather making ugliness the structure itself. The most typical example of proportion misalignment is that the skirt no longer starts from the waist, but hangs down from the collarbone. The traditionally regarded sexiest wide-to-hip ratio has been completely erased. Skirts look like aprons, like work clothes, and like pajamas that come out in a hurry without being properly worn. The first reaction brought about by this dislocation is strange, while the second reaction is why haven't I seen this possibility before? To a material collision, nylon coach jacket paired with taffeta princess bubble dress. The military uniform is made of stiff cotton fabric, and the evening dress is satin. Industrial organza is directly used to make it so transparent that it is almost naked. These collisions are no longer fun mix and match, but rather violent tearing apart. They are reminding you, materials themselves have no distinction of high or low, noble or humble. There is only the context. 3 color bombs, navy blue, olive green, khaki, and other uniform colors are used as the base. And then lemon yellow, acid green, retro pink, bright orange are suddenly inserted. And they are inserted in whole pieces without any transitional colors. There are no soft gradients and no safe neutral color buffers. This coloring strategy is like pouring a bucket of paint onto a military parade ground. Brutal and dazzling, yet strangely inspiring. For the most disruptive accessory crossover is the opera glove. It is no longer just an embellishment for evening wear, but the core items running through the entire venue. pink satin gloves paired with military pants, sour green leather gloves with white shirts, orange long gloves with lemon yellow bubble skirts, the length of the gloves almost all reaching the elbow, or even beyond it, turns the arms into new legs, into new sexy zones. The traces of labor hands that traditionally needed to be concealed were magnified, glorified, and sexualized. This show is actually Prada's own archaeological exhibition. The return of nylon in the 1990s, pleated nylon skirts, coach jackets, the ugly print and patchwork Frankenstein skirt of the 2000s, the apron elements of the 2010s, skirts hanging from the shoulders, you doubtless holder 6, even the famous military dress plus evening dress experiment in 2014 echoes. But this time it's not nostalgia, rather, it's a kind of self-disassembly. Miuccia and Raf took out all of Prada's signature language over the past 3 decades, and then deliberately made a mistake. The apron was no longer tied around the waist, but hung over the shoulders. Military uniforms are no longer stiff, but are paired with the softest satin. Nylon is no longer used for practical bags, but for the least practical puffy skirts. This is a desecration of one's own classics, but also the most sincere tribute to them. The true classics are not enshrined, but are repeatedly destroyed, reorganized, and reborn. The most profound aspect of this show is a systematic attack on the dress code for women. 1. Reject the sexy formula. No backless exposure, no deep V-neck, no high splits, and even no obvious chest or hip curves. Sexiness has been completely redefined. It stems from misaligned proportions, from the extension lines of the arms, and from the awkwardness of not wearing it properly. 2. The declaration of equality between uniforms and evening gowns, military shirts and evening gowns, coaching jackets and taffeta bubble dresses are placed on a completely equal footing, symbolizing that there is no longer any hierarchy between work and performance, daily life and ceremony. This is not only a style experiment, but also a rebellion against the requirement that women switch identities at any time. Career women gives good wife, and mother gives sexy beauty. 3. The unfinished state of the body. Many skirts look as if they have just come down from the tailor's desk and haven't been sewn yet. The corset is fragmented, the shoulder strap is loose. This kind of imperfection is precisely the greatest provocation to perfectionism. Women do not need and should not be required to be completed forever. In the context of 2025, this show is almost the only one in the luxury goods industry still discussing ideas, while other brands are still exploring how to make it to the hot search list and how to get bloggers out on the street. Prada is asking, when AI can generate any beauty and filters can modify everything, do we still need real ugliness? When identities can be switched infinitely, do we still need proper dress code? When everything can be consumed, can clothing still maintain its disruptive nature? The answer is yes, and it must. Of course, this show was not without problems. One, how many looks are overly conceptualized and are almost unwearable in reality. They are more like performance art rather than ready to wear. 2, elitism suspicion. This attitude of only those who understand can understand is inherently exclusive. Is it still fashionable when you need to read 3 show reviews to understand a dress? 3. Business risks according to the back-end data. The instant media value MIV of this show is far lower than that of Gucci and Chanel, and even lower than that of Miu and Miu in the same season. It may become the most dangerous season for Prada's women's wear business performance in recent years. But this is precisely where its value lies. While all brands are chasing immediate returns, Prada chose to exchange a show that might not sell well for another milestone in fashion history. Prada SS26 is not a 2026 garment. It is the ultimate reaction of the perfectionism wave from 2015 to 2025. It was 10 years late, but it came just in time. When the whole world is teaching you how to do it right, Prada tells you, only by making mistakes can you be free. It's not beautiful, not comfortable, not easy to understand, and has no intention of being liked. But it is real, sharp, angry, gentle, contradictory, and honest. It reminds us that fashion was once, and should always be, a weapon of thought, not an ornament of life. This is why the 53 wrong looks walk on the orange floor at the Fondazione Prada Deposito in Milan on September 25, 2025 may become the most frequently cited show in the next decade, because it did the most extravagant thing when everyone was in a hurry to give an answer. It refused to respond.